All right. Let me know if you got me now. I might have messed that up. Hopefully we have audio now. Corletheel, can you hear me now? Well, crap. So I wasn't supposed to go to this scene yet, where the gameplay is showing. But so anyhow, had I gotten everything ready quickly enough, I hunted too long is basically what it was, and then I didn't have enough time to do all the video stuff on the back end. So anyways, got me now. Okay. I'll go back and start over and say what I was going to say, or say what I said in the beginning. But since we're doing this right now, we'll talk about that, and then I'll go back. But anyhow, here I am filling up a random QB dozer. I thought it would be fun to fill one up and say where it was at. So this is at a Burger King on Cesar Chavez in Grand, I want to say, like on the outskirts of downtown. And so if that's you or somebody you know, here's me just checking where I'm at. I'm in third at that point, so earlier I was in fourth. But if that's somebody, let's find out who they are, and we'll give them a special shout out. I'll be able to find out who it is tomorrow. Excuse me, if I go back to that exact location and just check it once it's done building. But anyhow, so to rewind and basically say thank you, Corletheel. Hey, Whitmore, Sycamore, thanks for joining. Audio videos out of sync. So that's a reoccurring thing. Depending on my bandwidth, I get either good lag, which is still a tiny bit, but casual roll call. All the casuals in the house say what's up in the chat. Lepidoptera specifically. I know that's who he's talking about. But the lag, yeah, it's not great. So what I do, though, is I fix that and when I upload it to YouTube. But ooh, Princess Hyena joined us again. Thank you for gracing our presence, Your Highness. So anyhow, the dialogue from the beginning, which I was on a scene in this program and didn't have the mic toggled there, so I had to go to this one where it was already set up. I was just down to the wire getting stuff ready. So basically, today when I checked the leaderboards, I was fourth, got inspired to go out. I wanted to record everything. I recorded my gameplay and the GoPro footage again. And but to get into first, I had to hunt longer than I planned. And also I had a couple phone notification things on that I had to like cut those out because they interrupted the screenplay. So I spent too much time editing that. Long story short, the GoPro rendering is actually still rendering. I can check it while we're doing this, but it's not going to be synced up anymore, so we might just miss out on that. It's like 80% complete, but anywho'sin. So I played, and then so I was in fourth place. I filled up that user vault that's at that Burger King. That got me into third, and then so here I am cruising down Cesar Chavez towards Hollywood, where Cesar Chavez eventually turns into Sunset Boulevard. So that's to bring you up to speed in gameplay. And then what else did I say? I don't remember exactly. I think actually I might have dodged a bullet because I had taken a sip of my soda and burped a couple times. And anyways, so that was good. I guess that we didn't capture that moment in audio history. So coming up on a blue vault, and what did we hear? Look sync to me. Okay, thanks, True Boy. So I don't know. Yeah, for some people it might be different. I don't know. And I think it also takes a minute to catch up. I completely missed that question, but thanks for joining us, True Boy. So who else made some leaderboard moves today? I know there was a lot, and actually as I started this broadcast, I just looked, and Choman is back on top in first place. So, you know, I'm in here fussing with equipment and editing stuff together and trying to get my thing ready, and I'm already back out of first place. I hunted like all day, and so yesterday I ended in first place as far as I knew. I didn't keep, you know, checking the leaderboards overnight or anything like that, although I'm just kidding. Yeah, so then I woke up at 4, played all day, got into first, and now I'm back into second. So that's that. And I don't know if you guys were following along with the resin count. But spending it, baby. Let's build up these local vaults. Somebody's got a user vault now that they can start collecting keys. So I like to, hook the community up sometimes. Now that we have at least one yellow vault, I'll probably sprinkle some here and there into a user vault just to plus up people's hunting area and get those players a little bit more engaged. It feels cool when you start getting those returns in your mailroom and getting blue keys. I can't wait till I'm catching them all day. But once we leave beta, that should become a reality for some of us. So now here's let's see, where would that be? Video's not ready yet. I might even try. Oh, that would be tricky. I would have to like trim the front off the video. Well, yeah, it's too much. I'm not that skilled yet. I need like a team, in the background. When you watch like a news anchor on television, they have just the roller like talking to the camera. The teleprompter is set. I'm reading my lines, and damn it, somebody spelled the word wrong or something. It's hilarious when there's like a little miscue. I just saw one the other day. I can't think of what it was, but anyways, come back to that. So anyhow, they got a team, and it takes a team to kind of make the stuff work on the fly and to make edits and whatnot. I need a young Jamie, like Joe Rogan's got. So any young or aspiring young Jamies out there, holler at Bloc Boi. In what state did the Witches of Eastwick? They were in Maine, or Rhode Island, was it? Maine. I think it's Maine. Let's see. I don't even remember. This was today. I answered this today. Rhode Island, it turns out. Okay, there we go. Very tiny state. There's another question somewhere, I think in the blue category for geography, that asks which state is smallest by geographical size, which is funny because Rhode Island, if you're familiar with the states, is by far the tiniest. Snagging up a key. So anyhow, I think yesterday I had seen Illusion Weaver mention that more details about the Pirate Captain QB that was first announced right here on my Twitch stream. Details are going to be disclosed during the Hunter's Lodge coming up, I think, on the 24th. I can actually check because I have it's in my calendar. 25th. Is that it? That must be it. I believe it's the 25th at 4 p.m. If anybody can confirm or deny that, that'd be cool. Let's do this. Anyhow, so yeah, it's a bummer. It's so much more fun when I have the live camera that goes along with it. I got a lot of feedback about that format, and people really liked it, being able to see the live footage of the environment that was synced to the gameplay. So gameplay only today right now. So that would have been, all right, I know where I'm at. I'm coming back up sunset now. So can only confirm the 25th. Yeah, I think it's at 4 my time. So maybe 7. I don't know. Like I said, I need a young Jamie. Young Jamie, confirm that. Or, what does Tony Stark have? Brain fart? Jeez. Help me out in the chat, somebody. I want that. Jarvis. Gosh. Jarvis. I beat you. I beat you to it. You'll probably say you beat me to it because I might have a couple second delay. Or no, you couldn't. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't matter. But thank you for that, Jarvis. I need a Jarvis. Just put in my ear. Get that answer for me. So, unfortunately, right here, as we're coming up sunset, there's a little bit of a spot where there's not a lot of stuff. And I'm sure all that will change once this game becomes more widely adopted, for sure. And it's... it is. Yeah. Exactly. So when I'm when you watch the videos on Twitch, I think it stores the chat where if you watch it, you can see what people are saying. So Whitmore Sycamore just corrected me in how Joe Rogan guides his young assistant, young Jamie. And so I'm not going to say it, but he's like, hey, go look that up. Jamie? And he says, how does one spell Jamie? There's several ways, I believe, but yeah, a real-time assistant, that would be fun. To like fact check, hey, we need that. I mean, I guess that's kind of what the community is anyways. If somebody's like on their computer, I mean, I could actually jump into the Discord and find out. Why don't I? It's not that interesting to watch, but let's do it. There's only a key. By the time we get to that vault, oh, we switched scenes. By the time we get to that next vault, I should have an answer. Let's get over here. Boom. Okay, we'll see if somebody answers. All right, so where are we at here? This is family friendly. I mean, I don't know. I try to keep it family friendly. I feel like that's just, I'm being a good, good ambassador for the game. I don't want to be crass or vulgar because this is such a wholesome and cool community. I don't want to, I don't want to take it there. That's why I have one rule on my channel, and it's be respectful. And you know what I mean? So that doesn't bother me to see that, but I just don't want to, I'm not going to be a potty mouth. Come on. June 25th, 4 Pacific time, confirmed. Cool. So that's the event I had saved. I thought I had saved it under Hunter's Lodge, but when I just looked at my calendar, it just had the event. I guess I didn't save the title. I'll put you on the payroll. You want to be my young Jamie? My Jarvis? It's a big responsibility. I don't know if you're ready for that, Esquire. Yeah, exactly. Hourlies, that's what would kill me. If you could give me like your most concentrated, like triple espresso hour of the day, I would take that for your hourly. But that's all I could afford is one. So, where are we at? Ooh, another trivia. Please select a category, probably entertainment. Mad Men is from the 60s. And it's a great show. So John Hamm, I love John Hamm. For those of you who aren't familiar with the show or who don't know the lead's name, John Hamm. The guy's great. So I think I've mentioned in a previous stream my love for Seinfeld, and the intersection of those two thoughts is that Larry David, the producer of Seinfeld, and his show, I missed that one. His show is called, Whitmore Sycamore, can you help me out? Anyways, we'll figure that out in a second. But anyhow, John Hamm is in this great episode, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Cool, I beat somebody. Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? Anyways, there's an episode where John Hamm is playing Larry David's character in a movie. And so Larry David's show is it's basically about him and his life. It's obviously they take some creative liberties, but it's hilarious. So it's like he plays a producer of a big show, which is, what he does. And he's like, he's a rock star. And there's a lot of great characters cast in the show. It's so funny if you haven't seen it. But this episode where John Hamm plays John Hamm as an actor who's playing Larry David's fictional character, version of himself, and he he mimics Larry's character. It is one of my favorite episodes of anything ever. It's so funny. Trying to keep up with the Romans, indeed. Why the snowman in June? Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yes, thank you, True Guy. So I was correct. For some reason right now, I think it's because I was so up to the minute with trying to get the stream going and hunting too long, and then like trying to edit and do whatever I was doing, and I was like, it's 6 and I had to go. So normally I also wouldn't be sipping this, but I was like, I had dry mouth, I needed to sip on something. So why the snowman in June, says Princess Hyena. Well, I like to switch my QBs around a little bit, and actually I do before this ends. So my QB right now, as I disclosed, I think in off topic, I'm the yellow QB right now as an homage to the Tour de France, right? The leader. It's like the most coveted item, kind of like if you're the leader for that day's ride or whatever, you get to wear it. Or that segment, I don't know, somebody who's more inclined on cycling can probably jump in and educate me too, but I know what it's for, right? And so I switched to the yellow when I got back in first place, but actually, Showman took it back, so I should take my yellow jersey back off. But to go back to your question, why the snowman in June? I guess because it's kind of rare. It's kind of rare, and I don't know. I'm frosty. I'm frosty, keeping it chilly out here, even in the Southwest heat. Because the snowman's the best QB hands down. I mean, I can't disagree with that. I'm not 100% sure if it's my favorite. Jeezy, it's exactly. So, all right. So there might be a little bit of a inside Marlov. Thank you for. I don't think Marlov's in here, but Marlov is who confirmed it in the Discord chat. So thanks for confirming that. Jeezy, yeah, it might be an inside joke amongst some hunters that the snowman represents Jeezy, the rapper, because he's the snowman. But anyhow, coming up on another vault. What's it going to be? I say it's going to be lifestyle. Bing. No, general knowledge. Celebrity. Pamela Anderson. Kid Rock. There it is. Quickness. Gotta have the quick fingers. Quick eye. Efficiency matters. So, I know Beats is usually in here and was talking about going out hunting. I think he said he started the day in 8th place, and when he later checked, he was in 12th. So it's that time of month. If you are unfamiliar with how the grind of the monthly leaderboards begins mid-month and continues to accelerate and progress all the way up into the finish line. If this is your first month or your second month, or maybe you're just now starting to learn strategy on how to get on the leaderboards and you're doing, some of these things that give you a leg up. Cool. Congratulations. It's neat to chase a position. And it's crazy to see several people just jump right over top of you when you're just idle for a normal amount of time in between hunts. It's like you can't be out there 24/7. I try to be, but can't be. So anyhow, see if I can regain my bearings on where I'm at physically in the map without the... Okay, I know exactly where I'm at, because there's this vault it's like right in the middle of the street. So I don't actually know what that vault corresponds to. Lifestyle. Secret's not a toothpaste brand. Silly. So that's one thing you'll get by watching these, is some of the trivia answers. And then you'll probably see some of the incorrect trivia answers when it comes to green vaults, because that's one of my specialties in the game. Besides stacking sats and, chasing those top leaderboard positions and flying around the world to get exclusive event vaults and things like that, I get green vaults wrong. That's actually, I think, my third best skill in the game. Yeah, I get several wrong today, and they all make me angry and drive me crazy. You'll see me pop up sometimes in the trivia issues channel on the Discord, because I'm I got a green vault wrong and was wronged somehow. Like there was one the other day where the answer, it was like a question about a specific soccer team's current captain, who is definitely a certain person who wasn't an option. So that key was returned to me. But if I'm like, that's the answer and I didn't get it, I'm like, I'm fighting over one green key. It's hilarious. The key struggle is real, people. Lifestyle questions are my jam. Well, that's because you have such a cool lifestyle, Princess Hyena. One that many people would perhaps envy. Embarrassingly, you're pretty good at celebrity. Yeah, well, I mean, comes with the territory, I suppose. So Whitmore Sycamore says, I think it's a new rule for everyone. If you take first, you got to put on the yellow. But if you get past and you don't take it off within 24 hours, you got to donate crypto to some later to be defined fund. That's real right there. And on that note, here I am dipping into my little repository of QB outfits I can put on. I've had a lot of blueprints over the... Sorry, whoever that friend invite was, I just said decline. Y'all know why if you've seen these before. So, what was I doing? I need to go into my inventory, and what do I want? What do you guys think? Let's vote. What should I choose now that I'm in second? The bull. He's like a donkey. If you ain't first, you're just a donkey. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am kidding. But I swear, every month that I've played this game, since I started like really playing it and like chasing after like the top leaderboard positions, every month almost there's like a new person that steps up. That's why it's so exceptionally challenging to maintain that position, because people can like save up stuff and then use it all in the same month, where I'm pretty much only able to use what I get and collect that month. So yeah, earlier I didn't take note of how much resin I had when I filled up that Burger King user vault, but not much. And then I think later I deposit some in a few that are on Santa Monica, headed out to Beverly Hills because people got theirs axed because they were too close together on Rodeo. But what do we think? What should I... Nobody's got any input on what... All right, well, I'll just choose one. What haven't I used in a while? Another exclusive one here. I'm a meathead. All right. I've now changed out of the yellow jersey since I am no longer in first. So, missed that one. I don't know what's near what the trivia shed. So there's a buddy quest that I'm really hoping to complete. I really need I need those points. I need those points. So that's somebody that I know, but whose vehicle is out of commission right now. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to work it out. But anyhow, what I was going to tell you guys something about when I hunted today. That's so that's one of the reasons I was so bummed about the... Actually, it's probably ready now, but it's not going to be in sync at all. I might be able to mess with it and get it in here, but let me just look to see if the export or whatever is done. It is. There was some funny stuff that happened today that I caught on the GoPro camera that I wanted to talk about when we got to it. It was like several... I even like took a couple notes of approximately where it was in the footage because I wanted to make sure that I was paying attention to the videos that are playing from the hunt, so I could, anyways. But it's not there today. Lemony Snicket, series of unfortunate events. But anyhow, the what was one of them? I was coming down the boulevard. There's just wacky people on the Hollywood Boulevard a lot. And some of them are street performers, but every once in a while, so you get these people who are like, I guess they're voyeuristic. I don't know. It's weird, right? Because So the reason it's strange is you see characters, right? You'll see like Superman, or you'll see somebody dressed up as Wonder Woman, just like you do on the Vegas Strip, and they might come and like you'll be like, "Hey, you ready for a picture?" It's like, no, I'm not going to pay you $5 to take a picture with you, but they do make money that way, and some of them dance. There's a lot of artists. There's like people selling, like street, like snoring hot dogs and stuff. It's pretty cool. Some of it's legit, but some of it's like weird, right? So there might be like one Spider-Man who's legitimately acrobatic, and like underneath the suit, you can tell that like it's a fit person, maybe even a gymnast. You might see somebody like that, but then you also might see like somebody who's just in like a dirty Kmart version, that you're like, oh, that's interesting. So anyways, not disparaging anyone, just trying to create an idea of, the range of characters, right? So some are like, oh, wow. And some are like, oh, that's all right. So anyhow, there's this couple that's down there. I don't know if they're a couple, but it's two people. And I always see them sometimes, and they're always at Hollywood and Highland, which is a big popular corner where they do like an always crosswalk. So you can cross any which way, diagonally, everything like that. And that seems to be where I always see them. And I think they just like being seen. But the female wears like a nun outfit, but the top has no like area to cover her breasts. And then she just puts two pieces of like black tape over her nipples with like a little nun hat. And he's like a little priest. And they have something, they probably have a sign, I don't know. They probably have some weird agenda or whatever. But there was like a brief second where I think I captured it. And it would have been fun to point out and have the story that goes along with it. But more Carmen Sandiego. Oh, shoot. You know what? Earlier when I read that as Princess Hyena saying, embarrassingly good at celebrity, but that was that was you saying that. Whitmore Sycamore? Oh. Anything can happen on the streets of LA. The whole city is alive again, and we are getting more tourists. We are. There's a lot more activity than there was in the months past, as things are returning to normal, and the vaccinated population, has increased substantially, and the number of new COVID transmissions has reduced significantly. It'll be fun to get back to some normalcy, because one of the things that I'm kind of bummed about, but also like was stoked about, I'm stoked but bummed at the same time, is that so LA has, some sports and stuff, but it's still limited. And now I think there's sections for fully vaccinated people, but there's still sections that are like socially distanced for people that prefer that or who aren't vaccinated. But so it makes it really hard to get tickets. It's already hard to get tickets sometimes to stuff in LA. But with the very limited number and people just chomping at the bit to get back out and do, something that's fun and normal. Somebody hook Bloc Boi up with some tickets, yo. What do I got to do to get some tickets? Someone's like, StubHub. Ticketmaster. So hey, real quick, I forgot to show this off last time. It's like, you can see it, but check out the new Bloc Boi tee. There we go. I can find the camera. How fresh is that? So I'll tell you how fresh that is. That is fresher than a doctor spanking a newborn baby's butt. That's how fresh that is. Am I going the right way? Here we go. All right. Super fresh. Bloc Boi. Did I miss that? I did. Did anybody see it? Doesn't matter. So now here we are. It looks like we're coming back to the more fertile hunting grounds as you get closer into Hollywood proper. Like East Hollywood's going to blow up. All these areas are going to blow up. There's so many people all over, and there's just these little pockets. And the other day, a hunter from Glendale mentioned, and Glendale, is like a suburb, I think I would call it, on the outskirts of the LA area. So it's like kind of up by the valley-ish, but east of there. But anyhow, nice place. A local hunter from out there hit me up from one of my YouTube videos and was like, hey, and introduced themselves. And I was like, oh, I recognize that name because he has user vaults out here in Hollywood. So there are players that are more on the outskirts, but even those who are on the outskirts are still consolidating and condensing their user vaults into the more populous areas where there's already a decent amount of density. So that's cool, but you'll eventually see it spread into those areas because eventually you can't place them any further. So there's that. So up here. Okay, so the incident in question. Excuse me. The incident in question is coming up right here. So like that intersection where there's a regular vault on the closer side with the user vault on the further side, and then the print shop on the same side of the street that I'm on right now. That is the intersection I was talking about earlier. It's a lot of fun. Hollywood's a lot of fun, but it's just such an interesting mix. If anybody has been out here, you'll kind of know what I mean. But it's a lot of fun. So this one I think is what is right before that? So right after that user vault is like at this novelty store. I think there might be a McDonald's right there. I'm trying to visualize it. I do these so many times. If I had the video to go along with it, obviously that'd be easier, but I daren't. Ellen DeGeneres married Portia de Rossi. Ellen DeGeneres, it's so weird that if you didn't know, she had just, I think, announced that this is going to be the last season of her show, and she caught some a lot of backlash recently because people were kind of saying, "Oh, she's a nasty person" or whatever. And I'm stopped at that intersection, and I was trying to get it. It's like, you're too far away, and I know this, but every once in a while you get a little bit of drift, and you're like, "Ooh, got it that time." So anyhow, Ellen's facing backlash. A lot of people were coming forward and saying that she's nasty or she's rude to people on set, or I had even heard that it was specific to people who were like in lower positions. But so to some degree, I get it. There probably are people. I can think of times when I was in an underling position where somebody was just rude, and you just have to take it, and you're like, "Oh, that's kind of messed up." You know what I mean? So I get it from that context. It's not the way to treat your employees. It's not the way to foster a positive working environment. You're not going to find that in any HR manual that, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. But I wonder, how much of it is like somebody messed up and it was like a high stress moment. I don't know. They're like, we just don't know enough details, I guess is my point. So anyhow, it's interesting to see Ellen in under so much scrutiny, because she was so important for the whole LGBT community when she came out. And if you guys don't remember her show, it was, I think, the first show where there was a woman on television who was openly gay. And that's so important, and it's so weird that it was so recent in our actual history. But I think that the show ended up getting canceled because her character, who was probably to some degree based on herself, kissed her character's girlfriend in the show. And it's like, wow, what a long way we've come since then. I'm absolutely an advocate for the community. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of room to grow, and obviously there's a ton of hatred and bias in the world, and one of the cool things about where I live is that there's a lot less of that. But anyhow, so Ellen DeGeneres did so much and became a huge star because of it, and married famously Portia de Rossi, who's a very beautiful individual. But I don't know. Curious. I wonder what Ellen's going to do now. I liked the idea of Ellen, and it's unfortunate that it could have been, is that her defining achievement? That for a minute there was 10 people that were like, "Hey, she was, crappy to me on her show," and it's like, hey, thousands of people have worked for her over the years. And anyhow, that conversation turned interesting for a minute. I think I still like Ellen. So here I am. I turned right. What is this? Orange? No, it's past Orange. So it's just past the Chinese Theater. I'm heading directly towards Magic Castle right now. And so here's a little sneaky tidbit. I plan on winning this week's restaurant Twitter photo contest. because up the hill from the Magic Castle is a place that has an absolutely phenomenal view. It's just a beautiful place. So I'm going to try and go up there and like, well, I guess I plan on winning if it gives me a Twitter option at that location. So I'll keep my fingers crossed and see if it hooks me up. I'll have to go back every day and try to get it. It's such a pain to get up to. It's like up in the Hollywood Hills, so it's annoying. But how many doors is the ballroom? Maybe y'all can tell me, because it sure isn't 3. What are you, on a Clue game board? Is that even real? Yeah, obviously. So I was like, I think I went 3, and that's not right. Maybe 4. Is there 1? Like, I think Google said 2 or something. And I was like, well, between 1 and 3, I don't know. And that was my last green key, so I'm like salty at this point. It always happens. It always happens. Yep, so I'm probably in the car right now, where if the audio were rolling then, I might have to put in a couple burp, burp, burp. Because as Whitmore Sycamore mentioned earlier, he said he cusses like a sailor. And I think I do tend to cuss when I'm having casual conversations with my friends, because I feel like it's just, like it's part of our vernacular, obviously. Words just spring forth from our mouths into sentences. So sometimes, expletives can be exclamations. But I try to keep it PG-13, at least on my channel. I don't need to start getting, I get the, the 13-year-old kids who play the game's moms jumping on, and they're like, somebody said the F word. Woo. And I don't want to have to deal with that. So that's that. Where is this? Okay, this is... Oh, you know what? I did. No, this is me right here. Okay. Yay. Whoop whoop. Who that is? That's Bloc Boi's vault. Another gratuitous plug for my own UVs. Miley Cyrus was christened with the name Destiny. And, excuse me. And I actually have a long story about that question specifically, because I don't know why I got it in my head that I had Googled it at some point and thought it was like Jane or Joan. So there was like 5 consecutive times that I got that question where I would be like, oh, I remember it was Jane. And then it would be like, and I was like, oh, it must have been Joan. So then the next time I'd get it, I'd hit Joan. And I was like, I thought last night, I could have swore it was, and I flip-flopped like a complete imbecile and got it wrong multiple times. And then finally, I think I did Google it, and I was like, oh, it's Destiny. Well, yeah, right? So Princess Hyena just said that as a kid, she remembered watching that episode after Ellen came out, and they put a warning on the episode. That's insane. Warning to humans expressing love to one another in a wholesome way. Might make you have some feels. Warning. P.S. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. NBA, that's Michael Jordan. But you know what is interesting about that question is they might have to make like a version 2 of it, because word on the street is they're going to do a remake of Space Jam, and LeBron James is going to be the lead. So I love that, a good remake, and another great ambassador for the sport. LeBron James is a phenomenal person, phenomenal athlete, and has done so much for his community back where he's from in Akron, Ohio. The Rust Belt area, if you will. A lot of tough cities out there, but he's amazing. He's amazing. He's still with his high school sweetheart, has a son who he's raising to be a outstanding young man, exceptionally gifted athlete as well, and no scandal. Like LeBron's legit awesome. I just think it's great how his excellence somehow also brings just so much like scrutiny. It's hilarious. So here's this could be a well, couldn't be a purple vault question because it's got to be game related. But if there was just a random trivia question about me, well, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I might be oversharing. Forget about it. Forget about it. Who do we got here? Somebody with the Bitcoin QB. There he is. Okay, so Art 1980. Shout out to you, sir. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel and sending a hello. Like I said, I hit your vault every day, and I think he was like, yeah, likewise. So it's that reciprocal community investment within one another. Who knows? I might even built one of these, or two. And by built, I mean contributed the resin. Got a little water in my whiskers. So today was technically the first day of my regularly scheduled programming, where I want to try to stream Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at the same time slot. And I might not get a ton of viewers right now, and that's fine. It's more of establishing a rhythm for myself. I need to kind of get this built into more of a structured thing, because I'm telling you guys, it has not been the easiest thing in the world to learn how to kind of put this stuff together. That is not, I mean, despite the fact that I live out here in Hollywood, this is not what I do. This is not what I do in any way. So I kind of, I don't want to say I fumble my way through. I think I do a good job of faking it. Like Brooklyn, what else? They're in New York. New York! Huh? New York! Forgot what I was just saying. I'm entertaining myself with a poor rendition of a Brooklyn accent. Completely forgot what I was saying. I think I was saying something about like the community building itself by contributing and doing that. Oh no, I was saying how hard was it to teach myself all this stuff. It's like I said I did a good job faking, because I feel like I fumble my way through it. Even when I first started this, I'll edit that so that when I put it on YouTube, you won't see that part. But for those of you who are here in the beginning and notice that I, Corletheel pointed out, thank you, Corletheel. Thank you for pointing out the fact that I didn't have my mic turned on in the beginning, because the scene that I had set up, I didn't add the mic to it. So I was like changing some stuff around, and more reps will help me make it into a more solid show, so there's less hiccups for y'all who are watching. Game, set, match is the term associated with winning a tennis match. Should be a Pride QB. Yes! I think somebody's mentioned that, a rainbow QB, because that would be so cool. For Pride Month, yes, Corletheel. I could definitely go for a Pride QB, maybe next year. Why not this year? Shoot, let's get that, somebody jump in there. I should do that. I did it once before, and a bunch of people were like upvoted it. But I don't think they're going to make a decision on the fly. There's like 10 people in the stream said that we should do this. But before I said there's got to be another merch drop with official, let them do some stuff. And I made a comment. I was like, everybody go in the Discord and upvote, or not upvote, but put a thumbs up. But yeah, we should do that for the Pride QB. Art 1980. Should just flood the Discord. Exactly, Mike. I'm just now... Whitmore Sycamore. I just now caught up. Flood the Discord. They don't want to make it rare or anything. Yeah, they don't. Exactly. Easy to grab and print. Faux show. Oh, there's a little... Oh, it's a... That's a Kirby. We got a little Pride Kirby. So how long does this, Oh. So this video, I hunted for a long time. And actually that's what, so I learned something today. I hunted for a long time, so I had a ton of footage. And rendering the whole thing, what I should have done, how would I even do that? I think I might be able to trim the clip first and then edit it. I don't know, but it's when you export it after you make edits that takes the long time with my ancient computer. And not quite ready to pull the trigger on a new one yet, although I am keeping my eye out. They just released a new version of my same computer that's like a decade newer almost. This computer can't be that old. Feels like it. Seems like it's probably almost that old is the crazy thing. I got this computer when I was in grad school. And I like upgraded it, I think, as much as I can. And it's still, fortunately, supported by Apple. So it works. But anyhow, so this is a super long video. I don't know. I hate to say this, but I might end up being on here for a long time. If the M1X or M2. Yeah, but when is that? Like next year? I mean, you know how Apple is. They drop enough stuff to where it's constant. You can't get everything, you know. The M1 is dope, right? From what I hear. And it's got to be 1,000,000 times faster than this Intel, you know, i5 or something. I have no idea what's in this thing. M1X or M2. Yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, I would be down to get the latest and greatest when it is time to pull the trigger. That's kind of what I like to do with my Apple stuff because they're usually like so sweet that they'll be usable for years. I mean, we just retired our last MacBook because it was no longer supported, so I couldn't even update the OS. And yeah, so got my money's worth there. But I also did the SSD swap and maxed out its RAM and kept it, you know, it was on life support for a while. But Monterey release, yeah, well, when's that? You're speaking in Apple nerd terms. Like, you're using an obscure reference to make another reference? Sorry. It sounds like I'm being rude to him. This is my friend. This is a friend of mine. This is how I treat. This is how I treat my friends, apparently. But I just all I'm saying is that you said wait, and I'm like, till when? You're like, oh, I don't know, another indiscriminate time. Monterey release. I could Google it. I'm my own young Jamie at this point, just for the record. And I thought, you know, like I've done a couple of times in my videos. I'll say, you know, shout out to today's sponsor, and then like joke, right? Like Coca-Cola. Yeah, right. They'll probably like sue me for even joking about it. I think I joked about that also. But I thought, I was like, oh, I should just like take like actually, you know what? I shouldn't even tell you because it would be funny if I did it. I probably won't do it. I was going to take a snapshot of myself and be like, thanks for, you know, shout out to today's sponsor, and then just like cut scene to like me, because it's all self-sponsored right now. Everything's self-sponsored. So I am my own young Jamie, and all this stuff is just me learning all these different things to play around with, to talk about Coin Hunt World. It's like I got the itch, man. You know, it's funny because I've seen other people in the Discord, you know, and I'm not like, I don't want to down talk people, but I'm just speaking in generalities right now. Excuse me. You know, there's people that will be like, oh, you know, I'm not getting enough stuff, and you know, once in a while the developers will be like, hey, you're saying you need more free stuff for this free stuff we're giving you, basically. And I get that, and it's like, what the heck, you know. But also, I mean, there's other stuff that you see in there, you know, like some of the like, oh, you know, I should have got this and this or something, and it's like, it's a game. Play it and have fun, you know. Don't feel like you're owed something. Just play it and get what you earned through it, and it's awesome. And like, I get it, you know. There was a time when I first started, I mean, I was getting 2 blue vaults, right? I had 2 blue vaults and 3 blue keys accessible to me. And that was what I would get, and it was fun, and I would be happy, and I would be excited to get them every day. So anyhow, just try to take a more positive approach when you're dealing with this game, folks. Take things with a grain of salt. Don't be upset that people have a different thing somewhere else. That's what they have. I mean, that's kind of like the grass is greener mentality, right? I think a lot of Americans feel that way. It's like the Instagram kind of world, right, where you only see the best of what's out there, and I don't know, expectation management, folks. So what was I gonna look up on my own young Jamie because of something that was said. Oops. So I got my trackpad, so I'm not scraping the. I don't know why that mouse was like scratchy like that, because the surface I'm using on is weird. But now I switched to the trackpad because I was dragging the other one around and that made noise, and now this thing's clicky and it makes its own noise. So what was I going to look up? Oh, I was going to look up the date, probably, that you already now have an answer to. Oh, Corla Field, thank you so much. That's right. That's up to Mac. Yeah, right. So I'm sorry, Corla Field. Was that in reference to the fact that they last? I mean, they're just quality, right? They don't crash. You don't have these dumb bricks that. Yeah, it's just so much better. I'm like all Apple, big time. We don't know for Apple. They will at the developers conference, but likely delay the release due to getting parts. M2's most likely to start with the MacBook Air and more in the fall. So that's yeah. I mean, I'll honestly likely end up getting the new iMac. Yeah, Mac product roll call. I don't even want to tell you all the Apple items I have in my house. There's a lot. There's a lot. I have a friend who is fairly successful, actually, at basically recouping some of the money by selling the last device when he upgrades to a new device. And it's a smart thing to do because Apple products actually do hold their resale value pretty well. They have a decent resale value. But I think I find that like I'll get a new thing and then I just keep the old one. I don't know what it is that I'm doing, why I feel like I need to collect like an Apple phone farm. But I think I might have somewhere, this is embarrassing, an Apple 4S. And I have at least Apple, I don't know, Apple TV, computer, iPhone, the 4S, I can count that, iPad. I have a bunch of stuff. iPad, yeah, I've had my iPad for years. My iPad has been through like some battles. It's been dropped and started to like crack around its edges, so the screen is glass, but I think I have like an Air, I don't know, like an Air 4 maybe. I don't even know what model we're on now, but or an Air 2, I'm not sure. It's several years old, but the glass kind of started falling out in the corners because once it had fallen on its corner a couple times, it no longer had that integrity, and then the glass would break a little bit. So it's got a couple cracks through it, but nothing that you catch your finger on, so I just use it. And the only thing that happened was like a couple of the little pieces of glass that are in the corner, which aren't actually the screen, had fallen out, so I just put Band-Aids on it. So I literally rock this iPad with Band-Aids on the two corners at the bottom where the home button is, and like 3 cracks that wave and run through the screen. Because I don't know, maybe the new one's cool. I just didn't feel compelled to get a new one yet, but I definitely need a new computer. Wow. Whitmore Sycamore says he still has his OG iPhone, the original. That's crazy. That is awesome. I remember what it looked like, but not as vividly as I remember the original iPods, because they're just so like crazy. They're just like this giant hard drive. Corla Field's on an iPhone, Apple Watch. I've never had one of those, but I like them. They can do more and more stuff. MacBook Pro, AirPods Pro. Oh yeah, I can't forget about those. Apple TV. You sound like me. I'm on the gift or sell my old Apple hardware. Use it to discount my upgrades. Yeah, That's what, higher resale value compared to competitors really helps. Yep. But you have to be up for the work. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends. Yeah, it probably depends on your market too. I feel like if I was like, hey, I got something cool for sale out here, people are going to be like, yeah. And then probably like stab me for it or something when they meet me. I don't know. Times are tough. Times are tough. Stuff is real. This post pandemic. I mean, I don't think we can call it the post pandemic world yet, but I mean, I guess, yeah, like, no, because would that mean it has ended after the pandemic began? This pandemic world that we live in has gotten crazy. There's like, you might be able to hear that right now. A lot of sirens out here. There's a lot of police helicopters that cruise around out here because there's just always some stuff going down. But actually, you know what I noticed when I watched one of the videos that I created a few weeks back? Right when I start recording, I was probably so focused on doing what I was doing that and I hear it all day, every day. But a helicopter went by, and I noticed when I watched it after I uploaded it. I was like, oh, that's funny. Corlfield says, I always just cram them on eBay and rolled the dice, since eBay almost universally assumes the buyer is correct. Yeah, I guess it is a dice roll. So, but you can kind of set a reserve too, though, right? So it's not like if nobody sees it, they're not going to get away with it for $10. You set your starting price, and you set your lowest acceptable price, or your reserve, I think they call it. I believe. I've never sold anything on eBay. I've bought tons of stuff on eBay. eBay is pretty fun. So here I am forging a green key. Let's hope that... Okay, so bring us back up to where we are. This is Santa Monica Boulevard, and we're going into Beverly Hills, and all that green stuff, that like whole green corridor, is a park. Sorry, I was like, where'd my hands go? But it's because of how I have the overlay set up. Capital of Croatia. That's a good question. I've actually been to Croatia, and it's not Dubrovnik, it's Zagreb. Dubrovnik is where they filmed a lot of Game of Thrones, which I was a absolutely huge fan of. And then they went and messed it all up with the last season. What the heck? People used to be so, like, stoked on that show. They could have had a 20-year run of, like, epic popularity in toys and products. I mean, they were, like, rolling out... I saw like Game of Thrones branded whiskey, like special memorabilia collector style. And then now people are like, But anyways, Zagreb, capital, Dubrovnik, where they film The Red Keep. Who married, I think that said, I don't know, might have been Who Married Beyonce Knowles, because that's Jay-Z, but it could have been like Who Married Kim Mathers, which is funny because she had his last name because he remarried her, actually. So that one could be slightly better worded. I mean, I'm nitpicking at this point, but challenges after the buyer gets the item. They can then claim that the item didn't arrive or such. An email will almost certainly fully refund them at your expense. Oh no, that's terrible. So I was reading that and I was like taking a second to think because I had, I guess I should have done that. I had ordered something on eBay and thought that it got lost, but I thought it got lost after I received it. And then it turned out that it was just in like a different box. I had this box sitting for so long that the item I ordered was in a different item's box. And I must have just not noticed that when I first got it and set it somewhere. So every time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's whatever. And then when I went to get that item, the box that it was in, I opened it and it was this thing that I thought I'd lost. It was funny. That was a good story. Tell more like that. Sorry. So Princess Hyena says, I'm nosy. That's why I use the Citizen app. I like to know why the choppers are out. Yeah, the Citizen app. So if you have that, I know a lot of people out here who use it because it does kind of keep you abreast of what's going on. And it's very useful, you know, especially in a really dense city like this, because even though like the neighborhood that I live in, like this is a nice neighborhood. But it's also, there's like, anything can kind of happen. There's just so many people. That's why they have those helicopters out, because if something pops off in one of these densely populated areas where there's it can be easy to like fall back into the fold of just people who are out. They scramble them babies. They're like almost out, just cruising around waiting to hear something. I think they got gas to burn, and those pilots probably are required to log X amount of hours per month. I don't know exactly how helicopter pilots' licenses work, but anyways, yeah, the Citizens app, it'll tell you like what's going on and where. So sometimes you're like, oh shoot, somebody just robbed at gunpoint. It was like 2 miles that way or 2 blocks that way. I don't know. Hopefully not 2 blocks. I was a Game of Thrones fan, and now I randomly think about it during the day and get irritated. That's like, okay, living up to your name, hyena. Living up to your name. Just think of it and you want to just snap, bite arms off. That Game of Thrones scotch is pretty good. I got the Lagavulin one. Yeah, that's how you say that. I've had that before, that scotch. So my friend got some of the scotch. Lagavulin, I think, is very oaky, though, right? Mistake me if I'm not incorrect, True Boy. All right, Whitmore Sycamore, thanks so much for joining. See you next time. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, True Boy, are you still a Game of Thrones fan? I mean, you must have been if you got the whiskey, unless somebody got it as a gift, or if it was just a random thing, or if you're a Lagavulin fan already. I prefer bourbon to scotch. I find that scotches always kind of have that like really intense peaty flavor, like the char in the barrels that they were aged in or whatever, is like intense, and they were just aged so long, like maybe more of that flavor is infused in there. Some people like it. It can pair well, if you're like smoking a cigar or something like that. There is something very like nostalgic, like old school. Like I could imagine that my grandfather, might have smoked a cigar and sipped a scotch. But actually, I like to think that he probably sipped bourbon, since that's more in line with my palate. I like, what do I got? I always got the same kind on tap. I had a lot of brain farts today. I don't know what it is. There's a double oaked version of it that I particularly like. Very peaty. Yes, very peaty. Last season killed it for me, but still a fan, as it was great. It was great, but it's weird. Buffalo Trace is your go-to. Buffalo Trace is a good whiskey. Is it a bourbon technically? I can't remember. Probably is a bourbon. That's why you mentioned it, right? But it's all the same stuff, really, right? No, it's where you make it. I mean, it's so interesting, right? That's how that stuff all works. Scotch technically can only be from Scotland, or whiskey can just be made anywhere, but Scotch is whiskey, right? And then bourbon is like, oh, it's whiskey made in Kentucky, but it's bourbon. So they have their own styles, but it's just whiskey. It's like the the people from Parma and their cheese being all hoity-toity. It can only be Parmigiana if it's from Parma. I mean, I guess if you make the recipe and follow the traditions and make it the exact same way with the exact same ingredients, which you could technically do outside of Parma, isn't that still Parmesan cheese? I digress. Yeah, it's a bourbon. Buffalo Trace is yummy. Woodford Reserve, right? Woodford. Is it just Woodford? Woodford Reserve. I don't know. I'm struggling today. I think I needed like a coffee. I grabbed this soda. It's a little guy. My last sip. Today's sponsor. Holler at me, Coca-Cola. If this got viral, why not? Sponsor your boy. Because I drink Coke Zero. I don't really like, I do like soda, but I don't like drinking sugar. And when I was living abroad, I was introduced to Coke Zero, and I was like, wow, it was a hot day, and there was some young girls who were like promoting it, and they had like this little round kind of cooler thing, and they were just posted on a prominent corner in the town center, El Centro, and they're just giving them out to try. And I tried one. I was like, this tastes great, and it's zero sugar. And then I was so excited because so locally here I listen to Big Boy on 92.3. If you're not in the area, get iHeartRadio. Here's another free plug. man, y'all need to sponsor me too. Big Boy, holler at your boy, Bloc Boi. But I listen to 92.3 and Big Boy Radio and these other things, and this is like the sneaker cast that I listen to when I hunt on Saturday mornings because I'm a sneakerhead. But the radio station started advertising the fact that there was Dr. Pepper Zero, and I was so excited because Dr. Pepper, I never even really liked Coke that much, but Coke Zero had an appeal because it was calorie free and actually tasted good. So I started drinking it. But I would never like really grab just a normal Coke, which is weird. But I like Dr. Pepper. If I was going to drink a soda, that's what it would be. Dr. Pepper's my jam. That barbecue water, them 23 flavors of. Anyhow, I listened to this advertisement for a couple weeks before I seen it in the stores, and it was and then it was released, and they had a regular Dr. Pepper Zero, but they also had the Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero. I had to get one of both, and it is phenomenal. Coke needs to sponsor better than one can. Yeah, I know, and so technically, I sponsored my video with a Coke can, so I'm sponsoring them right now, because if this video at any point ends up getting a bunch of views, that's free for them. So they kind of like, they might be like, hey, maybe we could sponsor a video of this guy's. Look how many views he got. There's wishful thinking. I'll try to speak that into existence and manifest my own destiny. There we go. There's my positive message for the day. So, right answer. Didn't see what the question was, but where was I? Oh, I think I was on Rodeo, I believe. Yeah. So here I am on Rodeo Drive, coming up to the infamous double green vault situation and a double key situation. So this is like a really cool spot. I wish I had the actual video, so I'll turn left here, but that little part that kind of carves in is like walking only, and it's like shops, and it goes up a hill. It's kind of cute. It feels like you're in a little town in Italy maybe, but the rest of Rodeo is just flat. But the green vault, so I don't remember. Did I get them both? I think I got this one and had to go around and like forge another key to do the second one. 500 resi. Wow. Love those extras. So yeah, I probably turn here in a minute. And then I'll circle back around. I think I turn left, and then I turn right on Beverly. And then that's Wilshire and Rodeo, where the other green vault is on the corner. And then I'll loop back up Rodeo. Missed that question. Celebrity. Oh, it was Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. That's what it was. They got married. I think they got divorced too. Young Jamie. Whitmore Sycamore. Where you at? Did they? Did Anna Faris and Chris Pratt get divorced? I'm almost certain they did. I remember that happening. Yeah. 2018. Sorry to hear that, folks. It's gotta be challenging to be in a relationship, because they were both like pretty big stars. And I think I read something about this. It wasn't in the tabloids. Don't judge me. I think some of this information was known within the community. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, so Anna Faris was more of a star first, right? Chris Pratt didn't hit superstardom. I mean, he had a goofy character who I think was absolutely a riot in Parks and Rec, but it was a while before he got to Star-Lord, right? The dude's like a superhero now with his own franchise, So, I think that caused some strain in the relationship when he became the big star. Interesting. And then I think later on, I've had that before on my stream. I think later on, she mentioned she kind of felt like it was forced because, I don't know, something happened and it got out of control. My stream about this amazing game has devolved into a conversation about speculating around possible reasons for a celebrity divorce. But I guess it's right on topic, though, because that question was about the two of them. So I digress. Take that back. I won't be so hard on myself with this on-the-fly commentary. Trying to keep it interesting. And also trying to keep this going for a while because I need to log time. I need to log time. I'm trying to make it to the, what do I call it? I'm still learning the terminology. So when you do Twitch, there's, affiliate. There's affiliate and then there's like partner, I think they call it. But like, one's like a baby step to the other one, right? So Twitch became famous because it's the platform where you can stream and play games, but also get paid doing so. And some of the best Twitch streamers are monetized based on, you know, the volume and the number of people that they have watch. And I think that also you can like subscribe to them, like hey, I'm a fan of your page, and you like pay. I don't know exactly how that works, but I think you have to reach a certain point before you can actually do that. So anyhow, I think that's partners. So if you have like a big following, people can be like, hey, you know, like Ninja, I think was the first one that was like a global kind of superstar, multi-millionaire from Twitch streaming. But the baby step, the first intermediate, because like right now I just stream. There's nothing, like there's not even any potential for me to monetize what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing it to create content and to engage the community, and doing it because it's fun, and doing it because I'm trying to build this into a thing. But the intermediate step is called affiliate, and you can start to do some of the stuff. I guess there's like flair. I might be saying the wrong terminology. There's like something you can do in Twitch, but it's like I think you have to pay, like, you know, you pay, I don't know, like $1 and you get 100 of these things, and you can be like, yay, in Twitch. And potentially I could get part of that yay penny. It's like a hey penny, but it's a yay penny. I don't know exactly, but something like that. So I'm trying to stream longer and stream more often because the requirements for even that intermediate step are on a rolling 30-day basis. And you have to hit these specific metrics all within that amount. So like each day, you know, if there was something that was on that day 1 of 30 on that rolling 30 days and it falls off, then you gotta have it replaced if you're right at the threshold. So I'm just trying to build up enough stuff to where, you know, on any particular day, I'm not going to suddenly be like, hey, you're going to lose this status if I'm able to get it. But I'm not able to get it yet because I haven't hit those metrics. So, a lot of chit chat about nothing too important. Yo, what's up? Mind Puzzles, aka, can I say your game name in here? The dude has entered the chat. I always love to see Bloc Boi's army in the house. On that note, how's the hunting been going? You've been grinding. Wow. You want to talk about referring the right kind of people? I know that Princess Hyena can relate, right? You refer somebody that just crushes the game, you know, you benefit from their grind, which is like awesome. So Mind Puzzles is he's a beast right now. Where are you at? Let me look, actually. Newer player, but getting it. Strategizing, reading in the Discord, doing all the right things. Getting the info, reading in the wiki, looking for advice, you know, getting those user vaults started, recruiting his local friends and family and cohort into it so that they can, you know, get that resin reciprocity when they're adding resin to each other's vaults and building their community simultaneously. Kudos, good sir, and thank you for joining. Got back to the top 10 US. That's awesome. That's today. I'm gonna get in here. I'll look. We'll see where it's at, because I thought that I was back at first, and then came home, did all, you know, my prep work and my edits, and got everything set up, and then ate, you know, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and then basically was like, all right, that's why I was burping. I ate so fast because I knew that I was going to be streaming for a minute and hadn't eaten. So anyhow, long story short, I thought I was in first, got back, started the thing, and then popped the game open and saw that Choman was back in first and I'm in second. So took off the yellow jersey, and then you're back in the top 10 US. And remind me, you were like 8 yesterday, or no, that was Beats that was 8 yesterday and 12 this morning. But you're back in the, yeah, way to go, Mind Puzzles. That's solid. I mean, that's That's solid. Roman has invited. Oh, Roman. I will accept your invitation because I know that you are a local hunter. I hit your user vaults all the time. So now we're friends in the game. Maybe we'll get a buddy quest. You got to be in Discord. It would have been weird if you just randomly added me now. Maybe you're even lurking in the chat. Who knows? Is anybody lurking in the chat? What did I just do? I don't know. You don't know? I don't know. 2 plus 2? I don't know. 4 plus 4? I don't know. Anybody? I'm a nerd, I know. What's his fault say? So Roman's a local. Donald Trump's first name, Ivana. There's a lot of jokes that can be made after that. I think the best dad joke version is, yeah, Ivana hump a lot. Okay. I did say PG-13. I think that's a joke that a 13-year-old might find hilarious. Or a middle-aged dude who thinks his own jokes are funny. So I'll probably throw a couple resin in here if I have some. I must have some by now. But gotta be close, but I'm blowing resources to get there. Oh, I forgot what I was doing. So yeah, saw Beats has like 170k resin. Jeez, not me either. If Beats has got that much resin, that's awesome, man. I wish I could save up like that, but I can't. I mean, I could. But here's what that would look like. And that's why this is what I'm up against every month, right? Because he's doing that. He's probably going to save that. I mean, he might dump it this month and see where he can get. But, imagine, since, we'll talk strategy for a second. Imagine that he waited and he banked that's what he was sitting on, right? And waited until next month to use it all at the same time. How much of a force that would be on the leaderboard position. So looking at this month, so Beats is, yeah, so he's 33rd right now this month global. And I don't know, I didn't look at the other one, but hold on, I'll do that in a second. But who was I looking for? Oh, do it right now. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing it that way. I need to look at the locals because we're talking U.S. leaderboard here. Sorry, I was confusing myself there for a second. Boswald's in 3rd. I see you. Aloha, homie. Boswald's is just an awesome guy in general, but one of the guys that I met while doing Operation Purple Vault in Hawaii, local hunter. So cool. Him and his wife, all of them, the whole crew were very, very cool, welcoming. But Boswald's, I see you in 3rd, man, hustling. You were saying, you were like, hey, give, who was it, Makiki Tiki a chance? And now here you are. You're the one that's up there grinding, bro. Nice. So he's in 3rd. So we got right now, yep, dude. The dude is in 10th. And Beats is in 13th. And Makiki Tiki 11, Molten Gator 12. So, so what that would have looked like if I were starting to like stockpile or hoard, whichever term you prefer. Stockpile sounds much more tactical. Hoard sounds like it's like when people are upset about your stockpile, they call it hoarding. But anyhow, if I were to start stockpiling resin now for use at a later date, what that would look like is me losing these spots on the leaderboard that I'm able to reclaim by hunting and then using my resin. So for example, I've been, there's another achievement. How long you've been in 1st place global, right? What would we call that? The spotlight achievement or something, right? How long have you spent in 1st? Because I'll be in 1st for a while, and then I'll get knocked out and then I'll have to battle back. But I eventually get back. So like throughout the entirety of the month, I might have been, in 1st place for like 21 total days or something. But anyhow, several days ago when I started getting knocked out of 1st, it would be like I'd be in 2nd and then I'd get back to 1st. And then I was in 3rd. and hunted all day and got back into first, and then woke up and I was in fourth. So it's like, what that says is that the stratification of the top spaces is narrowing because people are making quick maneuvers and jumping past more than one person, and you're moving multiple places, at a time. So that, that layer cake, if you will, like some months I might have a big lead and people are trying to really catch up, or some months somebody else might have a really big lead and I got to just go out there and all gas, no brakes on them, and to narrow that lead. But if I don't use my resin all the time, then, that day where I was in third when I got up, I would have, maybe stayed in third if I hunted all day, maybe even got past and would have been in fourth. So the next day I would have started, I would have been moving with 4 as a starting position instead of being in first. And then, so that following day when I was knocked from first to fourth, if I had already been in fourth, where would I be now? You know what I mean? I wouldn't be obviously at the top because those people are still moving forward. And potentially, again, if I'm saving and stockpiling resin, people below me might be passing me too if they're using theirs, right? So there's a lot of strategy involved in the game. And I think that was the most I've ever moved my hands. There's a lot of... I do not know sign language. I have a good friend who's actually a known, not even who is a legitimately known entity in the hearing impaired world. It would be so awesome to one day have her jump in on something with me. That would be cool, because this is a game, obviously, that can be played by everybody. But all of my content on here, they'd have to read lips, because I don't even think I have closed caption right now. I need to look into that. Somebody had mentioned it once, and then that it slipped my mind, and I was just reminded of it. So, oh man, I love these guys. Want to be famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on bigfollows.com. All right. 103 hours after work, still ended plus 50 blue keys. That's solid. So you, even after opening all the vaults that you got within those 3 hours, you ended up plus 50 keys from where you started. That's super good. More than usual. Yeah, I probably could have pushed up another spot, but having 0 net keys, end of the day, is rough. It absolutely is. There's been days, so I always like to keep a little bit so that, you never know how the random number generator is going to be feeling one day. So when you're starting your day hunting, if you start kind of dry and only have a handful of keys, this has happened to me. All of a sudden you run into the position where you're passing vaults in order to get keys, and then maybe doing that more than once, right? If you have a really small balance to start with. But I do like to have a few at the end of the day. But as the month wears on, especially the last week, I'll come home with no keys, basically no keys. And that's hard. It's absolutely hard, because then the next day you're like, oh, I hope I can get a good day's hunt in. May the gods of random key drops in blue vaults and green vaults be fruitful, right? Give you a couple free greens. Jordan was an NBA All-Star 14 times, which is pretty awesome. He was a bad dude. Bad dude. MJ was one of my first sports heroes. One of the reasons I fell in love with basketball. I grew up playing a lot of basketball. I could ball at one time, I was alright. Oh, here we are coming up on one of Mom Loves You vaults. Pow. Let's see what her trivia was. Sports. Michael Jordan was born in New York. New York. 252 Satoshis, so we're getting up there. So 250, that's about 45K-ish. You've been opening a lot of vaults when you can eyeball or estimate the Bitcoin value based on how many Satoshis you get in a blue vault. And so earlier today it was probably about 45, just under 45K when I opened that one. I'm going to check what it is right now. See where we're at. It's went up a couple percent. You got to ride these out. That's why I was loving it the other day. There was a little while where it was over 300 a vault, and I think that we're going to see 50 real quick, and eventually much more than that. But yeah, don't mind the dip, folks. This thing is going to keep doing its. Just look at it over time, and it's up, up, up. So what was I looking at? The price right now. So where are we at? Where are we at, Bitcoin? Bitcoin's at 40. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. What did I say? 250 Satoshis? Yeah, it was under 40. Because 40 would be 200 Satoshis. Yeah. Anyways, 252. I love getting a big old fat 300 though. That was fun. It was maybe like 2 of the days when it was dipping. Long gone are the golden days when the game was first released, and that was a little key row. I need more areas like that. That's how you get those plus 50, right? Yeah, that route. So this route, you'll finish your 6th. Oh, that's great, man. You're crushing it. 3.5 weeks. Yeah, not bad. So I'm gonna have to. You don't have to, obviously, but I would love to use you, dude, as the example of like the new folks who are, oh, me. Like, you went out, you coordinated some other people, you're starting to work together, you're being efficient, and 3.5 weeks to have your 6th user vault that's solid. That's really good. And then the route that I'm on right now, so this is coming back out of Beverly Hills into West Hollywood. This right here. So the green vault that we can see right now is at this Veterans Memorial. And then that key that's right across from that little street that pops out off of Santa Monica is Barney's Beanery, a very famous bar in West Hollywood. And that user vault that's right before it, I'm trying to think of where that's at exactly, like what it corresponds with. I forget. I don't have my other GoPro game footage. I forget where it's at, but it is thick, man. So Santa Monica's great. Santa Monica, and earlier in the stream, it was Cesar Chavez / Sunset. Cesar Chavez / Sunset. It's like one of those tongue twisters. And then, of course, Rodeo, the Beverly Hills area. But hunt the dip indeed. Yeah, so I was saying that in the very early days, what was Bitcoin at? It was like, I think it was around 11K. And so imagine the vaults then. And there was a time too, I shouldn't even tell people. They're going to be like, you guys had it too good. The early adopters did have it too good. There was a point when I want to say that the blue vault rewards, it might have been the green vault rewards too. I actually can't remember. But for sure, the blue vault rewards were double. They were 20 cents per blue vault. So imagine that. But also keep in mind too that user vaults weren't a thing. And like even the ones that were placed within the game, by the developers, were more scarce than they were by the time user vaults were added to the game. So you got more per, but there were less vaults existed. But still, it's cool. It's fun to think about how far this game, and even how far crypto has come in just that short span of time. But obviously, I mean, crypto's been around for over a decade, but watching it, it peaked at like 19K or 20K or whatever a couple of years ago, and then it just like blew up again. It's fun to watch where it went from 11 to almost 60, and then, now it's down a little bit, but I can't wait for that next jump off to see how high it's going to go. Obviously don't know Coin Hunt World LA right now, but learning. Yeah, it's pretty fruitful hunting grounds, and it's big enough to where there's areas all over. So if you have the time and you're so inclined, you can really hit all over the place. And I mean, you could probably, I guarantee you there's places that I'm not even familiar with that are probably pretty heavy. And I just haven't been everywhere. So like the pockets that I found myself in, are all great. And really, like, if I get everything in all of those areas, that's a full amount. Like, I don't want to do it any longer than that. And that's not even counting, like, if you were to try to do do it a second time for the blue vaults, if you had enough keys, it wouldn't even, like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do what I do on a full day towards the end of the month hunting twice in a day. I just couldn't do it. So okay, here we go. So I'm actually oh, I missed it. I'm you see me looking because I'm trying to cheat a little bit. I actually popped up the window of my stream, which has, I don't know, maybe like a 4 or 5 second delay as far as I can tell. So when I look up and see the monitor, that's the view of the scene right now, which is real time, and I like just missed the trivia. I try to look over and see if I can catch it, like right there. So I'm looking over here now, and I'm gonna catch the question. General knowledge. Tom Cruise and John Travolta are both Scientology practitioners. I think it's a little bit of a... I'm not even going to say that. I'll like piss off the whole Scientology community, and then they're going to be like following me around and stuff. I just think that the way that the question was worded is generous. So now I'm just going to keep going because this video is going somewhere. I wanted it to... So I was supposed to cut off the front end of it and then get the in-car footage and the end of it, because it was so long. Once by the time I was done, I didn't plan out for going out that long. I was going to do in my mind, the route that I was taking this morning was going to be viewed like the last stream with the GoPro footage, so you could see the real world. And I did some cool stuff, like I went and drove down, like I was downtown and I went by City Hall, which is just cool. I was just driving, I started downtown. It was going to be downtown and then into Hollywood. But after I had done that, and so like where this video started was I already did trim some of the front off. So I started it at where I filled up that user vault at the Burger King on Cesar Chavez. And I think I go in, and I can check it when I go back and look at the video, but I think I go into the leaderboard at that point after I filled that, and I was still only in third. So I was like fired up to keep going. So by the end of the day, I did reclaim first place, and I wanted to stream that part of the gameplay, because that's when I go in and I'm like, oh, I started in fourth and now I'm in first. But the fact that Choman already knocked me out of first makes it a little bit less cool for that to be the focal point of the video. But that was what my intention was going in. So now I'm slowly making my way back to that, and I realize I've been streaming longer than I ever had before. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and try to get some of these metrics and see if I can't make it to that affiliate stage first. Just going to check something real quick. So one of the metrics, actually, you know what? That might not be one of the metrics for the affiliate thing. That might just be one of the ones that that Twitch tracks, because they'll show you like stream summary stuff. It's all new to me, so I'm still kind of like traversing what the different stuff means. But one of the things that I'm watching. This is me trying to get that vault again. How does it look goofy? Sorry. One of the metrics that they're tracking is like how many people, just everything, but one of them's chatting. And I need to get 10 people to chat simultaneously, which I don't think I've ever had. I had 8 once when there was a lot of people interacting. And what I found too, looking at the statistics, people will get in, but they're not necessarily talking, which I get, because that's not what everybody does. Just like the Discord, right? So there's people that will watch, or they're following along, but they don't feel comfortable, or they're just not interested in interacting, and maybe don't even realize there's a chat. I don't know. There could be a million different things. But I want to hit it, though, because it's like the next thing that looks like it's easy to achieve, because I've already had 8. And I'm like, ooh, I could get that. So again, it's this achievement thing that's got me chasing it. Can't wait for this stuff in the game. So, oh gosh, I missed a couple things. Sorry. I'd love to hit the doubles. Yeah. All right, Deuterino happens at 8 a.m. p.m. your time. Yeah, exactly. So East Coast, it's 5 here, so it's pretty cool. Probably more difficult in LA when it's 5. Heavy rush hour. Exactly. So I'll do it a little bit once in a while. Like if I am hunting around that time, I'll usually double back and grab the ones that just repopulated if it's convenient for my route or whatever. But yeah, that's when the traffic, it gets a lot heavier. So the only time that, that's really even practical to do that is maybe like the small condensed part of the Hollywood and Sunset route. And that's only because it's like the traffic is the worst, but also at that speed, it's like kind of ideal for the density that's right there. So it works. Coin Hunt World actually helped me to learn the city of LA better because I stopped using highways and now I know neighborhoods actually connect. Princess Hyena, yeah, exactly. That's a great point. I've mentioned that before, that it's a very, like, it's a well desired, that's not the way that I want to actually say that, but it's a nice side effect, right? It's a nice kind of like silver lining almost item. No, because that usually goes with something that's bad. It's not the intent of the game. Well, it is technically. It's to get you to explore. So it's directly relational to that, right? The game is designed to get you out and exploring your environment, your community, your neighborhood, etc. And so, of course, yeah, a natural side effect of that is that you learn the area better. But it's a nice bonus, I guess is what I was trying to say. It's nice in addition to the game itself. That's nice. Yeah, LA is also interconnected. Faux show. Coming up on your own UV. I might have been. I just kind of missed if it was yellow. I think I'm the only one that switched to yellow. That's also why I do it sometimes. I like to see mine coming up. So like a popular one, when I had the Chill QB, there was a couple other people in LA that had it. They were rocking that. And then when I'm the Dragon, I don't think there's any other Dragons locally. I'm not sure. I wonder if Mom Loves You has the Dragon Blueprint. I don't know. The OG one, a lot of people did. I did that one for a minute, but that, like, everybody got it and threw it up. So I was like, I wanted just to change it to something different. So here's an OG one right here. This might be Roman, who I just added in game. Maybe we'll have a buddy quest sometime. And then, I thought that was. Did I miss that somehow? I don't know. Oh, you know what? I'm getting confused between the two screens. I'm watching the one that's just slightly lagged, but this one's obviously. So the next 3 vaults are not user vaults. So where is this real quick? It's probably somewhere that connects. So a lot of people, I've seen several lately where it's like there's room. It's kind of annoying. I get it. It's hard. You want to place them somewhere good. But there's like lots of more places to add user vaults, and the last several that I've seen, like the one at Burger King, whatever, that one I was like, hey, you won the contest today where a random bulldozer is getting all the way filled. I actually filled it because it had 0 resin in it, and I thought it might be a nice surprise for that person to be like, hey, your vault is completed. And they're gonna be like, what? I haven't put any in it. Merry Christmas, right? So I thought that was fun, and that was one of the reasons why I did it, because 1, it was empty, and 2, at that time I had just over 10,000 resin. So, but the point that I was making is that was a user vault that was taking over a blue vault that used to be in that Burger King. And there's lots of places to add them, so it's always a bummer when I see one. I look at it almost as being removed, because the potential is +1, right? If a user vault is well placed, it can be placed near other vaults, but be in addition to them rather than replacing one. So the alternative of not being able to +1 can be almost viewed as like losing one. So we traded one, essentially. We traded a user vault for a pre-existing vault, which doesn't do anything for the density or, But anyhow, so there's another pro hunter nugget that you can dig out of this video at the, good Lord, at the hour and 43 mark. So alopecia is what causes severe hair loss. Talked about that last time. I'll have to figure out a new alopecia reference should that ever pop up in the stream again, because that's twice already. Because my Charlie Villanueva references, I think, is all I have. Freckles are caused by pigmentation and the skin. I just passed that one. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm at right now. I must be... So that was 1, 2, 3. I bet you I'm on... I think I'm still on Santa Monica, and I haven't yet gotten to Fairfax, maybe? Jeez, if that's the case, my video is drawing to a close, but we're not quite there yet, folks. Thanks anybody who's been on this journey with me this entire time. And thanks for anybody who may be joining us late. And thanks for anybody who's watching this as a video after the fact. Because right now, if you're watching it, it's being live streamed. Or right now, if you're watching it, it's video. I don't know. All right. Actually Jewish, thank you for joining. Isaac brought me here. Sounds good. Thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate it. Bloc Boi the Goat. Hey, thank you. Got a couple late additions. Welcome. Actually Jewish and Dabsack. Yes, welcome both of you. If you guys are just now joining, we've been chatting over some gameplay. This is from earlier. I started the day 4th globally for this month. And at this point, I might be in like 2nd, but it took a while to get back into 1st. And then I've already, since coming home and getting all this prepared, relinquished 1st back to Choman. Congrats, Choman. He's grinding hard. I appreciate the challenge. I always like the competition as it heats up towards the end of the month. It really gets me going. So anyhow, this was my can I battle from 4th back to 1st in one day of hunting challenge to myself. And so where is this? This is a stoplight, maybe. Seems like I've been stopped for a minute. Or maybe I'm done. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Trying to figure out what's going on in the video. I don't think it ends yet. Did I take the... Now I forget how I even edited it. Took some stuff off the front and the back. But anyhow, there we go. Now we're moving. Okay, so where I should be going right now is on my way to Wilshire Boulevard. Okay, so if that's a Mom Loves You vault, okay, I know where I'm at now. Do I? There's a green vault. Oh, okay. I'm on Fairfax going north. This blue vault right now is at the Peterson Automotive Museum, which is part of the Museum Mile or whatever. I don't know what they call it, but that's like across the street from where LACMA's at. So I'm about to turn right here onto Wilshire, and that Mom Loves You vault is right there on Wilshire. Okay, so we're almost to where I thought we were. Good. And that means that we've almost reached the closing of today's broadcast. So thanks for everybody who just joined, and thanks for everybody who's still here. Lifestyle, sunburns caused by ultraviolet radiation. Wear that SPF. Still get tan, block the sun rays. All right, so I'm right about to where I'm rolling up on the LACMA vault. So the challenge for myself today was to get out and hunt enough. There she blows. Yeah, you guys seen that, huh? Little peek, little peek. I'll circle back around and come to it. So, the challenge was to get from 4th to 1st. It's becoming increasingly harder to maintain my 1st place position as we get closer and closer to the end of the month. You know, that might be a part because people are grinding harder and playing longer. It might be because some people were holding resin back and are now cashing that in and getting those leaderboard points. It might be because somebody just got, you know, a buddy quest completed and jumped over me. And, ooh, she looks pretty, right? It might be somebody from Canada who just opened their yellow vault that's already been constructed. You know, that's a good chunk of points right there to get on any given day. Especially if like I was saying earlier, if the stratification between those top positions is very narrow, something like that does jump you several places and well above somebody who used to just be like separated by a few blue vaults, for example. So here's me at the tail end of a full day's grinding. There's Art 1980 again. Man, he's got some good placed ones. Art, good on you, man. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal formed a partnership. If they could have figured their stuff out, wow, they would have won. They would have won some more championships if they figured out how to become like a super team instead of they both wanted to be the man there. I mean, they both were the man there. You can't choose one. It's like the most. Anyways, so I am on Wilshire. I'm going past it so here's a couple keys. And there's a green vault that I want to get right here. So I'm trying to get enough blue keys to quickly forge a green so that I can hit these last couple blue vaults and the green vault and then obviously the yellow vault that you saw. So I'm going to go down here probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 blocks. I grab a couple blue vaults, a couple more keys, and then I turn back around. And then we're almost there. It's showtime. It's actually showtime now, but that's it's the culmination of the day's hunt. And watch, now by the time I'm done, I might actually not even be in second anymore. I don't know what's going on. There's that XRP Phillip, Ripple Phil, and then Showman, and then who's the other one that was right up there? M2G. I hope I'm still in second. Showman, bro. He's Rudolph right now through No So Bright. Oh, leading the way. Is that what you're saying? All right. So Showman's Rudolph might be to his QB what my yellow jersey is to mine, right? A designation of the fact that he's in first, a reflection of the fact. Secret's not a toothpaste brand. I think I've seen that like 3 times just today. And then M2G's next. So I put my turkey on. He keeps it hot. I'm trying to turn the heat up. A little extra resin. I'm trying to turn the heat up on the competition, you know. I'll put it on the snowman and ice him out and freeze him out and show him how cold I am, and then I'll put the turkey on and turn the heat up. Put the chill QB on. I don't know. We'll see. So we're almost done. There's the green vault. A couple more blues. So here I was too, like, okay, I got 2 green vaults. 2 green key booths. And then there's that green one. So I'm like, do I forge all 10? And then if I get it, either way, right or wrong, the green key goes away and I have no blue ones in reserve. But then there's this user vault peeking around the corner. So to weave together multiple storylines of Bloc Boi Coin Hunt World lore, as I turn right at this next intersection, it'll be the small one that like cuts off of that one that runs also to the left. So the one that's just to the right beneath it. I'll turn there and I'll go past the green vault and then go hit that user vault. That user vault that I'm about to go hit is where I famously, or maybe not infamously, ran into Mom Loves You when I just picked up the Blockmobile. So the first person that she spotted the first person that spotted me in the wild that plays was her, and it was right here. So coming up on this vault. So as I pulled around, this is where I was taking my Twitter picture of the Blockmobile in front of the La Brea Tar Pit sign. I come up here, whip around, and then parked after I got this photo box. Not right now, but at this location at that previous day. And then I got out and, was taking a photo and stuff, and that's when we ran into each other. So that was fun. That's the spot right there. Ooh, got a couple cracks there. So. All right, now here I come up on the green one. I got 9 keys, so I'm like, oh, what did I do? Oh, I didn't leave myself enough green keys. I messed that up. And the thing was, too, was right before that when I was still on Wilshire, there's, if I had gone, like, maybe one more stoplight further, there's, like, 2 keys on each side, and I could have got both of them. And I would have had 11 blue keys right there. I could have forged to a green, and I could have grabbed that vault. But, alas, 'twas not what I did, and I missed out. So I don't remember right here if I look at my place before I open the vault. I want to say that I do, but I can't remember for sure that I do. But I know that I was in second place. here. I think I must look at it. You know, there was a couple times when, like I had mentioned earlier, I had to edit a little snip here and there because I didn't put my phone on, what do you call it? Do not disturb. So a couple pop-ups and notifications came through. So I just got rid of those. But that was actually it was also another reason why, as I was trying to get all this stuff done, in addition to the lengthy hunt that I did today, it was all the extra stuff that I was trying to do with. Now it's not just the gameplay video. I got to get the GoPro video queued up. So here I am approaching the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. And this is where we just finished that LACMA crane. So LACMA is the abbreviation for that museum, and that's that big, all the buildings you see, the facility past the vault. The vault itself is basically right in the center of that art installation that has those lamps, 202 of them. So where did we go? Lifestyle, probably? No, I bet I did geography. Yeah, the Karakum Desert is in which country? Ooh, does anybody know? It's not India. It's not Kazakhstan. It's not Pakistan. It's none other than Turkmenistan. I didn't realize I took that long. So there it is. Let's see how many Satoshis or Gui I get for this. Got a green key. That's cool. Hey, guess what? 39,464. Now I can go back and hit that green vault because the yellow vault gave me a green key. Perfect, right? So what do? I whip around and get it. How fun. So that was me getting the yellow vault. So in a minute here, I'm going to open up the leaderboard and check, and then sure enough, I'm going to be in first place. And so I looked at it. Yeah, Deuterino, for sure. I appreciate it. And I mean, I like to see people that I refer to the game loving the game. So that's awesome. Yeah. Good on you. Keep up the good work. And thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. So, so I had finished in first. So I completed my mission at that point, and it was because of that the yellow vault and the points that come with it, and then also obviously filling up that QB crane earlier. So for those of you keeping track at home, that is at least, what is that? 200 leaderboard points? I don't know what the unit of one is. It's 2 yellow vaults worth, right? And then so here I am, another QB dozer sitting completely empty. Put my last 1,400 resin in it. Just to remind everybody, I'm not holding back. If you see my key inventory, I'm down to single digits of blue. You saw me just get 1 green from the yellow vault because I had hit that green vault 1 minute ago and had none. So here's me spending all of my keys. I got them back up to 10 blue, so I could theoretically forge that if I wanted to give up all my blues and create 1 green. But since I just got that green, I don't need to do that. So I'm going to hang back on this right again, coming from the other way of that user vault by the corner by La Brea Tar Pits that I had just gotten 1 minute ago. And now here I am coming up. And this is the tail end of my hunt. And maybe I didn't check the points until after I opened this one. Or maybe I did already miss it. It was kind of going to be like that was like the end. I'll have to write in the description. If you want to skip to where I went from 4th to 1st place, fast forward to this moment. But time-wise, it's perfect because that's 2 hours. I think I needed an hour and 40 minutes of stream time to make that metric I was trying to hit. So thanks everybody who was here. Let's look at this green vault, see how it goes, and then I'll sign off. And then I got 3 more green ones. So there we go. I ended my day with at least a couple blue keys. 13. That's enough to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and queue up my end credits. There it is. There, finally. Okay, so I got it. Oh, there it is. Oh, I got it. I'll make a thumbnail out of that. What was I doing? So there's Bloc Boi first. Oh, I'm going through the oh, that's right. I went through all the leaderboards and then back to global this month. Oh, that was me demonstrating I'm number 1 on all the leaderboards. Good for me. Good job, Bloc Boi. Pat yourself on the back. Okay, so again, thanks everybody who was in here. This is fun. I love the game. I love playing. I like when people come in. I like talking about it. You guys, this is only as fun as everybody else makes it. So everybody who was here, thank you. And yeah, keep stacking sats until next time. Bloc Boi out.